back. This is another episode of SoWatch. I'm your girl Treasure.
This is your girl Key.
And we're back with another video discussing the mess that is Selling Sunset. We're just going to jump right on into it because honestly, I feel like I have a lot to say. I feel like you have a lot to say. And so this video is going to be a little bit different. We're kind of trying to still figure out what our recipe is for different types of shows and such, but I feel like this one is going to be strictly about the gossip and honestly just what we feel about it, because it's not going to be so much discussing like what happens from each episode. Screw that shit. We're just talking about it all as a whole, because
and like just it was our opinion of
exactly
what we think and how we
it
thought
was
the
just
show,
a
better
mess. So let's get into it. So what did you think coming into this season? Like, what did you think was going to happen? Obviously, we're behind from the last one, which is the biggest fucking mess about this whole thing in general, was that they did it so late. So we're like updated on everyone's lives already, and it's like, hey, I don't even need to watch this for an update because I already know, like, it's stupid. But yeah, what did you think?
So to be completely honest, like with this season of Selling Sunset, it was definitely better than last season, like hands down. To me, in my opinion, love the cameos for this season of that starting thing, because they never ever did that before where they kind of had it starting. I loved it. I loved the beginning. That was great. That was actually really good. I love that.
Yeah, good job, Adam Danilo. I think that cameos, I think the show turned into much more of like a reality show. Like, it seemed more so like Jersey Shore, whereas before it was like real estate with a side of like drama, but now it's drama with like
real estate,
a pinch
on the side.
A pinch of real estate. Right. I don't know if I'm happy with the turn, because the grown women that fights that they're fighting is exactly what I agree with like Mary and Amanda, when they're like, hey, there's real shit going on and you guys are fighting over something from 3 years.
Yeah.
We're getting into all of that, but I was just like, I'm not even sure I like it, because if I wanted to watch grown women fight, then I guess I would have been into Real Housewives of whatever, city. So
you know what, you're kind of right, but you know what, I think what happened is they switched and veered off from it because they started to see the viewership and everything like that.
I know, but that's the problem, right? When you get the problem is when people get viewerships, they try and change it to accommodate everyone's likes, but you got the viewerships because of what you were before. People try to, I'm getting more eyes, let's change so it can be for everybody, whereas before it was like you started to get those eyes because people look to you for one certain thing that you did. Now you're not even doing that anymore, and you're trying to bring, you know what I mean? So I just think the integrity of it changed, and it's like people watch it for the integrity of it. If that makes sense. It was like Jason and Chriselle broke up, and I knew that they broke up before I even started that one. I was done. I was like, this is stupid. And then I was like, okay, well, at least you get to see them together. And I loved their dynamic so much that I was like, I was like, ooh, I love it. Like, I was eating it all up. And then they obviously, I knew that they had broken up. And then you watch like the after show, and it's just like, okay, no, I want you guys to get back together. And that's what you could kind of hope for the last one, because it seemed like they were both so heartbroken, and maybe Jason would, you know what I mean, change his mind. Of course, no one thought that G-Flip would ever come into this situation.
Yeah, that was actually gonna last and actually be like a whole thing, right? Yeah. Where we know that they're actually married now.
Yeah, they're married now, so definitely not changing anytime soon.
No. It was actually my favorite series actually on Netflix. It still is. And I mean, I'm so happy that, like I was saying earlier, as we kind of got very off track here, I actually believe the Selling Sunset was better this season than it was last season. In terms of last season, when I watched it, it was like, okay, I already knew they broke up, but I'm like, everything that was going to be drama to me didn't fill it up, that it was like, okay, to bypass the fact that I already knew what happened. This season, though, did a much better job, that there was actually still a lot of drama and stuff like that made me actually still want to watch it and not be pissed off of the fact that, okay, like, Heather already had her baby, like, you know, Trichelle's already married in the next, like, you know what I mean? Like, to me, I felt like it was enough for me to continue to watch it and, like, okay, I'm back on. Like, the train for me, like, last season was just, like, totally, like, like, not even a show. It was just almost like, I'm just watching it because I'm a fan of the show, so that I'm going to say I watched it. But, like, this season definitely 100% better. And so as we continue to get into this now, so what do we think? So let's talk about the newbies on the show. Okay. All right. So let's go with, I'm going to bring up this person first because I don't like her. So let's talk about Nicole here. Your thoughts on Nicole?
Like, Nicole officiated Mary's wedding.
Did not know.
Did you realize it was the same person?
No.
You guys remember? Let me know. But in the very first episode, you see, like, other people in the office, and they're just kind of in the background. There was, like, one guy, and then there was, like, 2 other girls. Yeah. And then they'd be there for, like, the meetings, but they weren't a part of the show. Right, but they're in the office. Oh, and Nicole was one of those people. Oh, so you saw. Yeah, and I remember seeing her, but I was like, oh, I guess they pick and choose which people want to be in front of the camera. And then whenever I did the wedding, I was like, oh, like, she's the officiator. And I was like, she looked better then because she was less skinny. I don't know. I don't know if she was like, oh, I'm going to be on camera now. I need to, like, lose a couple pounds at Mary's wedding. But that's besides the point. Do I like Nicole? I don't think anyone likes Nicole. I don't think she was brought on to be a likable character, if that makes any sense. I just feel like she had to fill Christine's shoes. Right. And so she's not there to be likable. I don't think there's anything likable about her. Mary being her really, really good friend, I feel like Mary, we're going to get into Mary later, but I feel like Mary and her being good friends, yeah, I guess I could see that because Mary has a lot of strong people to basically come to her defense when she is like, so that's why it makes sense that they're friends because she's a strong person. Mary's not strong in any sense of the word, so yeah, okay, makes sense, you know. Yeah, no. But yeah, I don't think anyone likes Nicole. No. If you do, let us know why. Maybe we can like see it from a different perspective. Yeah, because like I think it's unanimous. Yeah, no, and to be honest, like you're completely right. I feel like she came on the show not to be likable. She came on it for there to be drama and have things like ish be stirred up. Because in all honesty, last season, that's why I'm saying this season's better. Last season just lacked the drama because you already knew about the drama that was already gonna happen with the whole Jason. Well, I mean, aside from Christine, off, right? we didn't know that Christine was gonna be kicked off before she was kicked off. Oh no, I knew that. Like that. No, because we saw the magazine. Yeah. But I mean, we didn't know why. Because we didn't know why. Yeah. Because you know what I mean. Yeah. And because we didn't know about her and Emma's dynamic, which is like new to us, so that was fine. Yeah. And the drama with Christine, it's so weird because I feel like this season is so much more high school, so much more petty. But with Christine is all high school, Christine's all petty. But yet it was not a big deal because I guess Christine was, I don't know what the difference is between Christine and Nicole, but I just really can't stand Nicole, and this season I'm just not for. Like to be completely honest, though, when it comes to Nicole, so this is my other thing I have to say about Nicole. And before I actually say it in like 2 seconds, Mary's friends are all getting banked from coming on the show. She's best friend with everybody. I've been friends with everybody. Like, homegirl, Christine was her, like, best friend for a while. My girl got Amanda on the show. She got Nicole on the show. Like, she getting people bags of money here, like, coming on the show. But which... honestly, it sucks for her because I'm like, everybody you're a close friend with. So when they're fighting, whose side do you take? One person's always going to be upset and you cannot. Yeah. And I realize for something that's on the show, you cannot, like, actually forget about it. I'm not even going to say just on the show. I honestly think in general, when it comes to these things, you cannot play middle. You play middle, you end up with nobody. Like, perfectly, that's all it's always been. You play middle and don't pick a side, you're done. No one wants to be friends with you because whatever. So for Mary, everybody's being your friend, like, in the office, and you're apparently close with everybody. Like, how, like, when drama happens, you want to keep yourself out of it. It's like, no, people are trying to call you to be like, Mary, come be my team, come be my... Here's the thing, like, though, so... that's, like, my whole thing with that. Like, how do you do that? Which is what made me so upset with her this season, because I'm like... girl, pick a flipping side and just stick with it. Like, you cannot say that you're going to try to get a bunch of girls to all like each other. Like, bro, we all have hormones. We all have a period. Here's the thing, though. Like, it's all with happen. Mary, I think that she honestly could have stayed in the middle. I think it would have been fine. The problem was the fact that she was the managing agent. So, because it was causing a rift in the office, she had to go and try and take charge. Mary having that job title makes sense on one hand, where it was like, well, she makes the most money. She closes the most. On the other hand of her actual personality, it makes no fucking sense on why you'd ever pick Mary. She can't handle shit. Literally. Like, at all. Makes no sense. Yeah. So, I think that she could have stayed in the middle and just been like, honestly, guys, I love both of you. I can see both of your points. However, just don't come to me. Like, don't come to me, whatever. If you want, like, we can talk about anything else. Don't come to me. I don't want any part of it. And just be like, cool, good. But because she was a managing agent, it was kind of like she had to put her foot into it. But we know that she can't, so she fell. Here's my next question now. When it comes to this whole Mary thing, do you think that she also got that position also because of how close she is to Jason? I think she definitely is very close to Jason, but I think, like, honestly, anyone can argue and be like, well, had Mary not, been best friends with Jason, would she still have gotten? I could still say yes, because she is still the biggest closer on this show.
Okay, so that's my next thing. Like, obviously, we're just learning about Nicole now. She wasn't on the previous season. So, obviously, when I look at the cast, Mary was actually the biggest closer out of the rest of them and got the most business easily, you saw. But then Nicole comes on the scene and she be talking about how she wants to go for this big, like that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of like, so would Nicole, if she had been a cast member, would she consider to have been up for this position?
See, that's the thing. Like, we have no idea what the dynamics are of The Office, so we have no idea. But at the same time, it's kind of like, well, why isn't she at The Office then? Like, she was, because even, like, as I said in the first season, where it was like, oh, they still have people that didn't talk and weren't filmed on camera, but you saw them in the background, like, making coffee or something like that. Whenever the people on camera being addressed, you still saw them and stuff like that. Why is it that they would have, like, okay, the TV meeting versus people not on TV meeting? Like, that makes no sense. And whenever they say, they're like, yeah, well, we only have X amount of agents, it's like, okay, yeah, well, you see all of them now. So I don't really know. I do think that Nicole, like, we have no idea what Mary's numbers are. If she just sold the 35 million or whatever, I'm assuming they're probably close to and she's always there. Yeah. And I'm assuming she probably was always there because they're best friends. So she probably was there for, like, a lot more things than Nicole was.
Okay. So makes sense. Okay. And I mean, like I said, the one thing I can say about Nicole, because the reason why I don't like Nicole per se is the drama that she started with Chrishell for something that was over 3 years ago is just ridiculous. Like, absolutely ridiculous.
I think they needed to give her a story to harp on. Right, that's what for it to go on, for her to be kind of relevant. Bree coming in, everybody wanted to know about the Nick Cannon situation. Everyone wanted more intel about it because obviously maybe they have an NDA, but all these women aren't forthcoming about kind of the situation. So everyone's just hungry for being like, what the hell would get you into the situation? Why would you want to openly be in a situation like this that seems on the outside very, like, disrespectful, whatever. We'll kind of talk about that later on our stance on it. But I just think she was just so intriguing. So everyone's like, oh my God, we're finally going to get, like, gossip about that, and so she had her own kind of thing that everyone was intrigued on, as well as, not that looks really matter that much, but obviously, like, everyone that is, like, super super attractive gets more camera time. Like, no offense or anything like that, but did you even see Davina this season? She was in two episodes, one at the beginning and then one at the end. So it was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're slowly kicking Davina off as well. Yeah. And so Bree versus Nicole, who's prettier? Obviously, Bree is, like, the typical Instagram baddie. So even if she didn't have the Nick Cannon situation, she would have some situation. That's what I was gonna say. And she would get camera time. So Nicole needed something, and that's my other thing too. Would be like, Chrishell talking about it and even entertaining it to me is just the thing I felt like. Nicole coming forth to me and just being like, oh, well, my issue is from 3 years ago. I would just stop her right then and there and be like, you need to talk to Jason. I didn't ask him to put me on that. He put me on it. And so I was on it. Because he is my boss, not you. And that's, like, all I would have said. So I'd have been like, you're talking about something from 3 years ago? I literally just would be so annoying. Like, you're talking about something from 3 years ago. That was 3 years ago. That was 3 years ago. That was 3 years ago. And on top of that, because Chrishell didn't even take commission from that, shut the fuck up. Don't talk to me then. Why are you complaining? Oh, because because I was co-listed with you. Regardless of how much work I did, like she said. And even Mary agreed, too, when they had that in office peaceful meeting. Mary's like, well, I'm sorry, it doesn't matter who did what work. That's just how it goes. Nicole talking about it, they needed some story to kind of push and whatever. That's the reason why I can think it was just, it was just so stupid because I was like, couldn't it have been, like, last year at least? Like, because we missed that. We missed that last year anyway. For real. So couldn't it have been last year? You're talking about 3 years ago when she just started. Like, everyone was just like, I don't care. Look at Amanda and Heather when they were close and they didn't agree. Like,
and you left it alone. And
exactly, like,
it's admirable that she didn't take a commission because technically she still did something on it. And I mean, I should still get my my coin for it, if anything. But
yeah, exactly.
If anything, what I would have done is I would have said, if you felt that way, then fine, give me a lower split, but I'm still taking my money. She's like, nope, have it, I'm done.
Exactly.
Even though before this, you guys even had an issue with it, right? So what the heck? But yeah, it was all for storyline, and it's just
yeah.
And to be honest, you're completely right about the same thing that you said about the camera time between Nicole and Brie, because I mean they're both newbies, right, and stuff like that. But yeah, you're right. Like Brie had her own like section of this whole like show where it was like episodes where it's just her meeting her clients, where I did not see Nicole in any of her clients.
Exactly. I mean, so
she was always
we have no idea what her what her work dynamic looks like through any like Burka's openings. We have no idea. Obviously her numbers kind of speak for itself. This is like what people like our age, like females probably watching this, so we don't actually care about like your sales. Yeah, we want like a strong independent woman to be making money, but like we don't actually care about like who has the highest number, as long as you guys are doing your thing, basically. Yeah. So to me, leading into that, to me, watching Heather on screen, I was just like, I'm so sick of you. And honestly, after I finished filming this with you, like, I'm unfollowing her off of Instagram because this season just pissed me the fuck off. Oh, wow. And I'm just done with her. Like, she did have, you know, she sold the one house or whatever. But I was so sick and tired of Heather.
Okay. Here's my thing. So, I mean, I was going to go into the whole Brie thing next, but because you already brought up Heather, let's go the Heather route now. So, Heather, what made you not like her this season? Okay, before you say that, was she ever one of your favorites?
Heather is the only one that I follow.
Okay.
Actually, I follow Amanda.
Okay.
But I follow Amanda not because I don't watch her stories or her videos or like her like talking and like having hard time. I don't care about that. I just think Amanda's like really pretty human being, and she's really attractive, so I follow her because she's attractive.
I 100%
Heather, I generally actually liked Heather's personality and everything like that, so like I actually would watch Heather's like stories, and like I would like Heather likes to on her posts like write big ass captions and be like, so I actually would go and like press read more and like and read that. I wouldn't do that for Amanda, but I would do it for Heather. So I generally liked Heather, but I don't like her.
She has a likable personality. I'll give you that.
She's kind of like that naive kid personality, but it's more so like it's endearing more so than annoying to me. Yeah. She plays it really well. Whatever she is, I don't know. Okay, that's how she actually is.
So would you say she was her being the only one that you follow on Instagram favorite character?
Yeah.
Favorite cast member character. This is in a book, Kiana, sorry. Favorite cast member.
Yeah.
Okay. So Heather's favorite cast member, but you were wanting to unfollow her. What? Go.
Because, first of all, I just want to say I am Team Chelsea.
I am as well.
I am 100% Team Chelsea for this season. You guys, let's discuss it in the comments. What you guys want to say. Whose team are you on? Honestly, if you're just Team Amanda, who's not even in any drama, who was like in for 15 seconds and that was it. I don't know why, but I am Team Chelsea. I actually agree with her on even her own opinion about Brie. This does not go against Brie in any way and Brie's actual character, because that's a whole different story, and like we'll talk about which character we like and which character we like and everything. Chelsea, the way that she was kind of like, basically like, I'm hurting for all these broken homes that he's creating, and it like it just triggers me. Yes, your life doesn't affect my life, but if you're triggered, you're triggered. It's not no one can push your trigger buttons. And even Chelsea like saying that, I was like, why are you guys not listening to her? Exactly. You guys aren't listening to the fact that she's saying, I know you don't need my opinion, but however, if I'm telling a story and you're asking me, my opinion is going to be thrown into it because that's how I talk. Right. Same ways for you, that's how you talk. Because you said, you're saying this, whatever, I don't give a... That's your opinion, to not care what I have to say. That's your opinion. Why do you get to voice yours and I don't get to voice mine? Right. So if you're an adult, you have to just take someone's opinion and she's like, you don't need to. And I was trying to build a friendship with you, even though it was going against... what I wanted, and I knew that I couldn't be the best of friends because that'd be so fake because I don't agree with your life, so I'm just keeping you at basically like arm's length. And she said that, and then Heather goes, and here's the thing, I don't doubt that Heather didn't say the truth. I don't doubt that Heather put a spin on it like other people would do in the office. My issue is exactly what Chelsea said, where she's like, you went and told Brie instantly when I said something, but you never told me that Brie had an issue. Here's the thing to talk about. And Heather's like, well, it's not my job. Well, it wasn't your job to go and tell Brie either. It wasn't. So you basically have to pick loyalties, and you picked Brie's. That's fine. But that's all I said. I don't get why Heather was like, don't talk about me in the office. I can talk about you because I was hurt about our friendship. I'm talking to my friends and being like, okay, I guess me and her aren't friends. That sucks.
Yeah.
I can say that. Of course I can say that. That's not me talking about you. Me talking about you would be talking about, like, your man, your personality, blah, blah. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about it because our friendship is broken to me. I'm allowed to talk about that with anybody I want to.
Right. And the thing is, for me, just to allude on that before I let you continue, because she got a lot to say. I love it. I think that, honestly, with the Heather situation is kind of like, for me, her to be like, hey, you can't talk about me and all that stuff, I just agree with you on that. Yeah, I think that it's like she didn't say anything about your family, your kids, or nothing. She's talking about a situation and getting advice to say, guys, because Chelsea obviously in that moment was hurting because she doesn't seem like the type to really want to go ahead and start drama and be like, quote unquote, as Heather said, talking about something. She brought it up because she's like, you know what? I've been hurting on this for a while, guys. What's your opinion? Like,
yeah,
what
exactly.
advice do I get? That's the time. That's how she came at it with. Not that, guys, guess what? Heather's like a this and that. So I'm like, hey, I don't get why she had to go there. To be honest, Heather in that scene at the end and the last episode was just so ridiculous. Like, she's trying to be like, she's hard body. Like, don't come from the type of energy. And I'm like, hey, you're not Brie. Do not start that.
Literally.
Like,
I was like, okay, I don't know what Brie is trying to milk with you or whatever.
Yeah.
Not that I don't think their friendship is real, but I was just like, I don't know what she's trying to put into you or whatever. But I was like, Heather, just go home like you want to.
Stop.
Like, please just stop talking because you're not making any sense. Like, whenever she was even saying, like, oh, well, why didn't you call me? I'm surprised she didn't call me because she felt this way.
Why would you?
It's the exact same thing that you said. It's not her job to call you if she felt that way. She can say whatever she wants. She's not saying anything bad about you. That's the thing. She's like, don't talk shit about me. I wasn't talking shit about you. I was discussing a fact that we're not friends like I thought we were.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, I'm genuinely confused on Heather's stance in this situation, to be honest with you. I generally don't understand what the hell Heather was talking about. I just feel like it was like, it makes perfect sense watching that why she wasn't called for the next season.
Yeah, no.
Or the next season, sorry, because the next season's, I guess, already filmed, so.
Yes. Oh, perfect.
So season 7.
Yeah, so that's, so just to say it now.
Season 8, right? Wait, what season was this?
6. So we're in 7.
They filmed season 7 already, so the next season after that, I get why she's not booked.
She's not back. Which is a good thing, right? I think that was a good thing that they actually filmed both seasons already, which is good, because now we can get back on track. Now they're back
on track, so thank God. But at the same time, we're not back on track, right? Because if Chrishell just got married now, and you filmed season 7 already, that means we're not seeing Chrishell married until season 8.
Yeah, so apparently she had said it, like, on, like, the... what do you call it? Like in the news and gossip, whatever. That she's not putting her wedding on the Selling Sunset because she wants to keep some things private. Apparently, so
makes sense because honestly, I was like, okay, I like kind of like everyone's kind of falling in love, and I guess it's kind of true where it's like where your friends are at is kind of where you're at. So it was like once Mary got married, then it was like the next wedding, the next wedding, the next wedding.
One after another. Yeah, it's like okay, so. Continue with the Heather situation.
So Heather being who she was, it kind of just seemed like she's like, I'm not someone that is going to stir up the pot. I am not someone that is a drama starter. Like, I'm not that person. And I 100% agree Heather is not that person. However, Heather has always been the person in each season where she's like, oh, I'm in this conversation. She goes to that person and goes and talks about it into the next person who it was directly about. Like, she was always that person that went and told somebody what happened, and I don't think she does it to cause drama. I just think she does it because she's kind of just like, oh, well, I'm going to tell you what is said so you can base your opinion off of it because you're saying right now, oh, you guys are friends? Well, they said this about you. I don't want you to look stupid. I feel like Heather's like that. Fair. Because obviously I feel like we know Heather and we've seen her, and she's just like she said, like, I'm just like a ball of love, like I want everything to be peaceful. Like, she even has like the tattoo, like, peace. Like, I think she genuinely believes that, and she's just like a fun loving kind of girl. But at the same time, I think that she's just like ditzy and like kiddish, like I said, naive, where it's like if you keep taking conversations that were meant for the ears that they're with and taking it to somebody else, that causes drama. I don't know. I genuinely think that she doesn't understand that, like, not that I want to call her, like, the dumb blonde, but I want to call her the dumb blonde.
I hear you. No, honestly, yeah, I totally agree with you. And, like, to say, like, my piece on Heather. So, when it comes down to the Heather, in terms of me, in terms of liking her, she was always mid. Didn't hate her. Okay. Wasn't my favorite type of thing. And it's because of the same reason of what you're saying, that this whole thing of her trying to be like, oh, I'm all about pizza tonight, which I agree that she is. Like, she's not really a drama starter. But I also think it's naive for her to think that, okay, I'm not going to get involved in drama. Because, to be honest, you going and, not tattling, but you going and saying, oh, this person said this about you, like, what are you going to do? Like, that just sounds like, hey, I cannot trust you and say anything. Because for all I know, I could say, oh my god, Chelsea said she hates Oreos. And Heather would be like, well, so they said that you hate Oreos. And it's like, I can't.
Chelsea was speculating when she's like, I feel like he's probably manipulating all these girls, da da da. She said, I feel, which means you're not making an accusation. Yes. You're not stating a fact. You're stating something that you think is happening. Said, this is just my opinion. She already said why she talks about it so much. It's triggering to her. Yeah. She already said that I was gonna keep Brie at arm's length once I found out about her lifestyle and I didn't agree with it. To keep it straight and not to be fake. Heather called her two-faced. I was like, Heather, you're not making any sense. How is she being two-faced by saying I felt like me and Heather are better friends?
I agree. Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. I felt like me and Heather are better friends and I guess we're not. Oh, you're two-faced because now you're sitting here and saying this. And it's like, what? I never told it to you, but here I am telling it to you. Yes, I said that.
Agree.
Where is the two-facedness?
Yeah.
Heather made no sense on this season to me. I wasn't living for her outfits. She wasn't giving me much.
I still liked her outfits, though. Her outfits were
I didn't. Pretty. I like, they were fine, and I get it, like, you're pregnant, but I was just like, there's nothing good about seeing Heather to me, honestly, because it was just like, she's on Team Brie, which is fine. I liked that she reached out to her and she's like, oh, you're new, like, I want to kind of accept you and, like, give you what Crystal didn't have because she had a tough time, you know? And I agree. I was like, at the same time, like, I genuinely think Heather's not a bad person. No, I just think that she's just too ditzy now. I don't know.
No, to be honest, Heather, and the thing is, I think she progressed. Like, I think in the first season to now, I feel like she's become more about this whole I want the peace, like I don't want drama type of thing. First season, she was kind of like, I felt like you don't really get to know her, like what's her personality.
No, yeah, because she was gone with like the
boyfriend and all that, right? So I feel like now, to be honest, with the way how Selling Sunset is going, it's not Heather's. That's not her vibe. That's not my vibe no more. I can't be there, so it makes sense that she's talking about it because the way how this is going, like, it's got to be a lot of drama, and it's going to force her to do things she doesn't want to do and doesn't want to be portrayed on screen and stuff like that. So that's my thing. But yeah, to be completely honest, just to talk about that Brie situation with the Chelsea situation, okay? So I'm Team Chelsea in this situation as well, because a lot of the opinions that she has, I kind of feel the same way. But I do honestly think her going in the office, even though, who was it that asked? Davina or Nicole who asked, oh, so how was the...
It was Heather.
It was Heather asked.
Heather.
She asked. Okay.
Chelsea came in and Davina was there and Heather was there.
Was it Nicole there? Nicole was there too. Yes, Nicole was in there too.
At the office?
Yeah, at that time whenever Chelsea was sharing how the whole situation.
I don't remember if Nicole was there. You could be right. You're probably right, but it was. They're like, oh yeah, we went out for drinks after. Like me, Chriselle, and Brie went out for drinks after. Like it was cool, and I was like, oh, perfect. Like Chelsea's trying with Brie when she has those things.
I was like, yes, they're gonna be cool.
Yeah, exactly. And then Heather, and then she's like, oof, like you know, Chelsea's making this face like, and like doesn't want to say anything because she's like, at the same time, it's not my business to share. And then Heather's like, wait, what? Everyone's like, what? And Heather's like, well, you have to say something now.
Oh,
that was another issue that I had with Heather.
Her.
Heather prompted her to talk about it. And when she talked about it, see, Chelsea's talking about you want to keep private, but it's like, you prompted me to talk about it.
You did.
I wasn't going to talk about it.
You did. Yes, you're right. Now I remember. Yeah, she really did prompt her to talk about it. And like, my thing is, I think she only prompted her to talk about it is because it was about Brie and because she already built this friendship with Brie. She was so prompted to be like, hey, tell me what it is so I can go run back and tell her. Like, the whole, like, it's funny, Heather's face in that whole conversation with Chelsea saying it was literally saying, I'm gonna go back and tell Brie.
It literally was just like, in her head, it was like she's trying to work out the conversation and how she was gonna tell her. Whenever you talk to Brie, and I thought we were friends, we've known each other for a year, we're friends. I'm saying that friends. I'm not saying acquaintances. I'm not saying coworkers. I'm saying friends because that's what Chelsea said. You agree with that? You never defend Chelsea to Brie.
No, you
like,
didn't.
Why do you never do that? That's what's weird to me.
That's what made me so angry about the situation.
If I have an opinion or whatever, and it's different from yours because you're gonna be friends with someone that I don't like, when you go and talk, okay, it's one thing to go and just say everything that I said about that person to your friend when they're not my friend, but you have to actually be in the middle here because you're supposedly my friend. Fine. If you're not, fine. If you like the other person more, fine. But because you're my friend too, why aren't you saying, well, you know what, Chelsea actually, you know, it probably was triggering for her because she believes this. Like, she's told you why too. Like,
exactly.
Not the full depth that she told Emma on the beach.
Right, which I wish that was before this whole thing with the Bree situation, but I think they did it on purpose.
They definitely did.
Right? Because I feel like that conversation, that whole thing probably happened before this whole Bree thing, but they just still had to put it at the end. Because I feel like if Chelsea had explained that in the whole situation of what was triggering her and had said that to Bree directly, and I was praying that she was going to do it at the last episode when they were talking on the thing and she didn't. Oh, I was like, geez, this probably could have made... I don't think they would have had a relationship because, like you said, Chelsea was probably going to keep her at arm's length because of this. But at least it would have been a thing of a respected thing instead of Brie coming for it like, okay, Chelsea hates me, she's going to be talking about me behind my back. And we have to be on two different sides of the room. It didn't need to be like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm kind of like, ugh. But in terms of that situation, to me, Heather really did come with this whole thing to be like, okay, I'm going to protect Brie in this situation. Let's say that had that conversation and Heather didn't say anything to Brie. Didn't say that Chelsea said anything, and then it came back down the vine that, oh, Heather was there. Brie would have come up to Heather and been like, hey, why didn't you say something to me? How would that conversation have gone in that sense? She probably was more fearful of that because, let's be real, Brie's energy was going to come off on Heather. Like,
Heather never really had a backbone until, if you talk about Tarek, then she'll have a backbone. Yeah. Other than that, like, if it's... Heather's one of those, like, girls that's for her man instead of being a girl that's for her girls, if that makes any sense. I'm not saying that she's a bad friend. I'm just saying that she's kind of like, okay, well, I think this, and then it's like, well, I'm out of it. Like, even when she said, she's like, that's between you guys, your guys' shit. Why are you putting me in the middle of it and putting it on me? Right. And I'm like, Chelsea's not putting anything on you. She's there because you discussed what I said. You're bringing up Brie into it whenever I'm like, it's not about Brie. It's about me and you and how you acted as someone who I thought was my friend. Herself. So when Heather keeps bringing up Brie, and then Chelsea's just like, I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about how you treat us differently, but you should be my friend too. Yes. And Heather's like, you're putting her shit onto me. And I'm like, Heather, you're not making any fucking sense. She's not making any sense. I'm over her. Like I said, unfollowed. But I think that when she was talking about it, as much as it was like Brie would come to her and be like, why aren't you whatever? I feel like Brie's also understandable and being like, you know what? If Heather was to say to her, she's my friend too, I kind of don't want to be involved in this anymore. Like Mary, I don't want to be involved in this anymore. Brie would be like, I get it, you guys have been friends for obvious sense.
I get where you're coming from, but I don't know, because honestly, like I said, Brie came in hot. So Brie came in hot like, hey, you like me, sure, you're on my side, you have anything to say about me, okay, you're cut. So I feel like, to be honest, it was honestly like, you know what that reminded me of? When Heather whenever it was that whole time, whenever Heather was on Team Christine, and it was like Heather, Christine, Davina, and then it was basically Mary, Chriselle, and Maya, and whoever else, right? I feel like it was that situation where she was on Team Brie, and it's like, hey, you chose your side, and she was going to stick on that side and defend Brie, even though she was friends with Chelsea for longer. And, like, I think also, to her dropping Chelsea like that was just so, like, wrong. And I feel like part of the reason, again, this is just my speculation, my opinion, she dropped Chelsea for Brie because it's like, Heather's pregnant with a baby boy, you know, Brie just had a baby, she feels like she can relate to her more with the whole baby, you know, our kids can go and hang out, whereas Chelsea's kids are older. So I feel like that whole is kind of what attracted her more towards Brie. No. Now I guess we can kind of move on to Brie now, okay. Love Brie. I honestly think right now, okay, so when this season started, in all honesty, since Chelsea joined the cast, she was my favorite. Okay, prior to Chelsea joining the cast, my favorite was obviously Chriselle. Now, not so much. So now, Brie's on the show, she's 100% my favorite now. Like, it's not even close anymore. Chelsea's second, and it sucks because obviously now
you have like a warring heart. Your half your heart is on one hand, the other half is like over here. Yeah, and they're at warring.
Yeah, and I wish that if they were actually like friends,